The hidden story of money. Are the numbers in your account real? This might sound a bit strange, but the money in your bank account doesn't actually exist. This isn't a joke, and it's not some conspiracy theory either. It's just the truth. If tomorrow everyone in the world went to their bank and said, "I want all my money right now," the entire system would collapse within hours, because that money simply isn't there. It's not a mistake. It's the system itself. The global financial structure is built on this very gap. The trick is called fractional reserve banking, and it's the silent mechanism behind debt, inflation, and the illusion of prosperity. To understand this, let's go back in time. There were no paper bills, credit cards, or mobile apps. Back then, wealth meant gold, silver, or jewels. Whether someone was rich or poor could be seen by how many coins sat in their chest. Life was that simple. But there was one problem. Carrying that much gold was dangerous. So people started leaving their gold with goldsmiths. Their safes were secure. In return, the goldsmith would give them a slip of paper, a receipt that said, "This much gold belongs to this person." And over time, people realized something. These slips of paper worked just like gold. If someone owed you money, you didn't have to hand them gold. You could just give them the receipt. They could go to the goldsmith and claim the gold any time. The paper itself had become valuable. And that's when the greatest trick in human history was born. Goldsmiths noticed that no one came to claim their gold all at once. Maybe 1 or 2 people out of 100. The rest of the gold just sat there. So they thought, if everyone doesn't come at once, why let the gold sit idle? Why not make it work? That's how money started being created out of thin air. They had 100 gold coins, but they wrote 200 receipts. They loaned out the extra 100 and charged interest. No one noticed. Because people believed in the paper, and the moment you believe, the illusion becomes real. This wasn't just a clever trick. It was the beginning of a revolution in finance. Soon this method became official. It had a name now, banking. And governments noticed it too. If banks can create money this way, they thought, why can't we? In 1694, the Bank of England was founded, but its purpose wasn't to help the people. It was to save the king from his debts. The bank lent the crown far more money than it actually had, and in return it charged interest. But where did that interest come from? From taxpayers. From that day until now, nothing has really changed. Governments borrow, banks create money out of nothing, and the public repays it through taxes. The same story unfolded in America. At first, paper notes were backed by gold, but soon banks started printing more paper than they had gold. Each time a crisis hit, people rushed to withdraw their money and found nothing there. Banks collapsed. Yet instead of changing the system, governments saved it, preserving the illusion instead of fixing it. Now look at how it works today. Suppose you deposit $100 into your bank. You think the money just sits there. But the bank keeps maybe $5 and lends out the other $95 to someone else. That person spends it. The shopkeeper deposits it again, and the cycle repeats. Each round multiplies the same $100 into thousands of dollars in digital money. But in reality, only a tiny fraction of it exists. And here's the most shocking part. In the US, banks are no longer required to keep any reserves at all. Since 2020, the reserve ratio has been 0. That means a bank can, in theory, create infinite money just by taping it into a computer. So, what keeps them in check? The answer lies in Switzerland, the Basel Accords. There, the world's biggest central bankers meet and decide how much risk banks can take, how much money from nothing they can create. These rules aren't made in parliaments or by elected leaders, but by unelected technocrats. In this system, banks don't create money from deposits. They create deposits from loans. When you take out a loan, the bank doesn't give you someone else's money. It simply presses a button, and that moment, new money is born. Digital numbers. Created out of your debt. Today, over 90% of all money in circulation is created this way. It's not printed by central banks. It's written into existence by commercial banks, and that's the dangerous truth. Money is only real as long as people believe in it. But when belief fades, everything falls apart. History has proven it over and over again. 1929, the Great Depression. 2008, the global financial crisis. People ran to the banks to get their money, but it wasn't there. Governments printed trillions to save the system, rebuilding the illusion once more. And this illusion has three consequences. One, inflation. Money supply grows infinitely, value shrinks. Two, perpetual debt. Every new dollar is born as debt, impossible to fully repay. Three, concentration of power. Wealth flows upward while the average person sinks deeper into debt. The harsh truth is this: the system feeds on your debt. If everyone repaid their loans tomorrow, the entire money supply would vanish. The economy would stop. The system doesn't want your freedom. It wants your dependency. But remember this: money is not wealth. Wealth is land, skill, knowledge, and freedom. The things that protect you from inflation and from the games of the system. History has shown this time and again. The trick of the goldsmiths, the crash of 1929, the collapse of 2008. All just different chapters of the same story. A world built on numbers created from nothing, and a people who keep believing in them. This story isn't over. Each time faith wavers, the system is patched up again. But never forget, this system wasn't built for your freedom. It was built on your belief. So next time you look at your bank balance, take a moment to see it differently. Because most of those numbers are just debt. Understanding the system is the first step to being free from it. Because in the end, one thing never changes. Money changes, but the game stays the same. If this gave you a new way of seeing money, don't just scroll away. Hit subscribe, because the next story might change the way you see the world again.